What is
Ah,
going on, everybody? Today we are joined by Jesse Hutch. How are you doing today?
I'm excellent. I'm whooped in a good way.
That's
So,
good.
what made you want to be an actor? And was acting like the first passion, or was it stunt work?
No, probably neither. I love watching movies when I was a kid, but I never had a second of thought or an inkling that I was gonna like go off and make movies. I thought that was so far away and out of my league that I didn't even know how that was gonna be done. So I actually went to college for outdoor tourism and business. I was a whitewater raft guide. I was a free climber. I love mountain biking, ice climbing. I was certified at the time in wilderness survival, winter survival, wilderness
Wow,
first aid, swift and water rescue technician, all kinds of stuff like that, and I loved it.
that's
And
incredible.
so yeah, I was kind of into that. My nickname growing up through high school and into college was Hardcore Hutch. And that's probably because I was a bit of an adrenaline junkie, was never into drugs, never into alcohol, never into swearing, but I would ride a mountain bike along the edge of a train bridge and see if I could go over the top, or I would climb a church steeple. Uh, so yeah, there's many ways to risk your life.
Love a good adrenaline high.
Yeah, turns out I did. Probably still do. But that did feed into when I started to get into the industry, that immediately stunts were very appealing to me. Storytelling has always been appealing to me. Like I said, I love movies growing up, always collected the posters. But yeah, as soon as I initially got into the industry, then yeah, like my first job was on a series called Dark Angel, created by James Cameron, and Jessica Alba was the lead. And right out of the gate, it was like, okay, so we got these action sequences. We're gonna bring in a stunt double, and I'm like, well, can I do some of that stuff? And the stunt
Oh, stunt
coordinator,
double.
yeah, the stunt coordinator at that time was Mike Mitchell. He's still in the biz, great guy. And he said, well, can you fight? I said, yeah, I did Muay Thai for 6 to 9 years. I boxed, kickboxing. He's like, all right, well, follow me. And we went out into the alleyway, and he literally was like, all right, let's go. Like, let's go. He's like, yeah, throw some punches. Let's go. See if you can hit me. I'm like, okay. So we're like sparring in this alleyway. And at what was a place that was called the Sugar Factory, I believe. And he just starts throwing down. He's throwing punches and kicks. And I'm like blocking, parrying. We're doing everything. And finally he goes, yeah, I'll probably let you do some stuff. And that's kind of my first introduction to doing action. But even right now, fast forward 25 years, I'm still in the film and television industry, and I'm working on a series called Homestead. And right now, I just had a full week of like full on sprinting, shootouts, gunfire, 50 cal turrets on the top of Humvees, a little bit of hand to hand, some interrogation scenes. And I have a flashback Afghanistan scene that we're filming on Monday with some like debris and explosions and stuff. So I'm
Wow.
loving it. I'm just loving it. So I love being able to bring heart and physicality and story all together. If I can do that, throw in some humor, I'm on cloud nine. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
love that.
awesome. I gotta ask. One of your first roles was actually in a horror movie that I enjoy very, very much, and you had one of the best death scenes ever in a horror movie, and that was Freddy vs. Jason. You played Trey. You were the first person to die. What was the experience like being on that set, working with Robert England and everybody?
oh man, that was one of the best and worst experiences of my life all combined. Uh, and I only say the worst because I was challenged with some of my personal boundaries that I didn't really know how to navigate yet as someone new in the industry. Because there's a simulated love scene, and that was new to me. And I remember sort of like they never gave me the full script; it was classified, But they gave me like a couple scenes, and I was like, okay, I got to be dancing. I'm kissing my got a girlfriend, okay, and and then as I booked it and I got into it, I was like, they sent me more. I'm like, oh, there's a love scene. I'm like, well, dang, like, that's uncomfortable. I didn't really sign up for that. I don't want to do this stuff. And they were like, oh, don't worry, there's no real nudity. You'll have shorts on. She's gonna have, everything's covered. We're okay. So anyway, we did it, and that was so uncomfortable for me and so awkward and new. And that was the first and last time I've ever done a scene like that. And so it kind of so that's why I say it was kind of one of the worst. It didn't help that the director had a bunch of lawsuits against him for harassment and things like that. Uh, However, I did 18 and a half hours of prosthetics straight to create a full body replica of me. That was incredible. I love like alginate and special effects makeup and all the folks who do that. God bless you, because you guys are amazing. You do the coolest stuff ever. And they even had a team of like 3 ladies that came in and put in fake hair in my legs, like this cadaver. It was creepy because, when you guys look in a mirror, you see a reflection of yourself. You get used to that growing up, right? But when someone creates a replica of you, it's not flipped. So it's not like looking in a mirror, it's what everybody else sees. So that's the only way you can see yourself truly the way other people see you, is to have someone make a replica of you. So I walk in and they have this body laying on the table, and it's me, and it's like got my eyeballs, and they even like took impressions of my teeth and pictures of my skin, and they painted it. And
Wow.
so I walk in and I'm like, it's like I'm having this outer body experience. And it's like laying there, lifeless, dead body, but it looks totally 100% like me. And I was like, this is creepy, but awesome.
That would be creepy.
And then the actual death scene, of course, that was super cool. We tested so many things and crushed, uh, we had pneumatic beds and what are the other types? They tried ropes and pulleys. We tried all kinds of things, just testing how to break this body in half backwards. And eventually we, all sort of decided, like the special effects team decided that it was best to have me upper half and fake lower half. So we need a bed, and it's got to have holes in it, and I got to be able to stand in it. And then when they bend it, we need counterweights, because how are you going to move this thing? And so there's like 6 people underneath the stage when we do that scene, all like ready to pull ropes and levers, and it was super cool though. And still one of my longest days on set. I have never beat that record yet. I mean, I don't need to. I'm good. But I think I was clocked in at 24 and a half hours straight.
Wow.
It was when we filmed all of the exterior cornfield like rave scene, all the
Yeah.
stunts, and Freddy Krueger's like, Jason Voorhees is on fire and people are getting thrown, and my character was all mangled and like back from the dead, trying to hold my own head up. And yeah, I literally clocked in and didn't clock out for 24 and a half hours. I think probably one of the better paychecks I ever.
I imagine. Things like that have got to be kind of hard though. Like, how do you kind of decompress from something like that?
I remember going to my trailer. They didn't need me for like hours, and I probably just passed out, to be honest, at some point. And then people bang on your trailer and they're like, they need you on set. You're like, okay, all right. And they drag you out and they shoot your angle, and then you're back out of there, and but I love it. It's like growing up, I was never really good at keeping a 9 to 5 job. And I think before I even knew I was going to be in this industry, God knew I was going to be in it, because like I said, I get bored with jobs. I couldn't, being a whitewater raft guy was the only job I held down for a couple of years. Other than that, I was usually in and out in 2 months, 4 months. Not that the people weren't great I wasn't working with. I didn't like knowing what was going to happen every day. And some
Yeah.
people are really blessed that way, and God love them, because we need those people, that can do the same thing every day. I'm just too much of a mess. And so I need like 14-hour days of, high intensity and stress, and I memorize lines and hit marks and tell story and learn everybody's names. And I just love telling stories and making movies and TV. It's my absolute favorite thing to do.
I love that. Did you find that like your early life and your outdoor background kind of helped shape the roles that you were drawn to? you've played a lot that are kind of very outdoorsy, adventurous characters. So I was curious if that played a part in that.
Yeah, I think so, because acting ultimately is dealing with who you are on a really personal level. Like a lot of people will say, well, good actors are good liars, and I would beg to differ. I think if you see anyone and you call them a good actor, then I'm willing to bet that they're dealing with stuff, and
Yeah.
I know it's a big blanket statement, but we all go through stuff, and yet acting puts you in a position where, hey, here's a scene. Maybe it hasn't happened to you in real life, but you need to bring your heart and just jam it into this script that you didn't write and say these words that you've never said that weren't yours originally. And you need to make it very personal, and it needs to be yours. You have to own it. And the only way to do that is to really deal with yourself, your insecurities, your talents, the things that you're still learning, the unforgiveness you hold, the hurts that you have, trauma that you've dealt with. I think everybody should try acting because it's immediately going to reveal your holes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's healthy. I think now a lot of us as actors we're nuts. There's got to be something a little off, I think, for you to be in the film industry.
Be a
Because
little crazy to take it on.
you have to be. It's just it's such a different world that is so based on like how you look sometimes. It's based on your age, it's based on your height, it's based on your build. It's a lot of it is visual, and a lot of us can deal with visual aspects of ourselves, and then not to mention the emotional, right? Like
Right.
you pour your heart out trying to bring this scene to life. Whatever, you're in a scene and your best friend just died in a car accident, and action, you're like, go, I'm gonna watch, I'll sit here while you guys bring that to life for me, please. I have my coffee, let's do this. And you just lay it all out on the table. I mean, you hope. And then
Yeah.
some people are like, I don't know, he reminds me of my ex-husband. I don't like him, and that's a true story. That's based on a true story. I've had feedback where I didn't book the role because the main producer thought I looked like her ex-husband, and she hated my guts. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, Godspeed. Maybe next time.
Crazy. I love it's insane, like the smallest thing that really can make or break whether you get a role. Because sometimes it's not your abilities. Sometimes the talent's there. It's just something so minuscule.
Yep. Most of the time, you cannot take it personally.
Yeah.
And that can take you years to learn that lesson, because if actors only stay actors, then you only know your perspective, right? Just like anybody in any business. Now that I've moved into directing more, writing, producing, you start learning a lot of the other aspects of this industry, and it's very disconnected sometimes. Like it may have nothing to do with you at all. They could make a headshot decision. They could decide because of your location. They could decide because of they want someone's cousin in it. No idea. So all you can do is leave it all on the field, play the best game you can, and you walk away and let everybody watch the instant replay, and that's it.
Love that.
I got a question. So it's called Three Geeks. Am I the third geek?
You're
are
the third
today.
geek today, yeah.
So I'm like the third wheel here. Wee.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's the best part is we bring you in, and you get to be our third geek. Makes it fun.
Uh-huh. So what kind of geeks would you say you guys are?
Ooh.
I'm a television geek. I watch a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars and books for me.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack there.
I'm a major book geek.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse?
Like all kinds of books.
All kinds of books. I love all genres. Like my bookshelf is insane. It's crazy. There's romance, there's horror, there's
Yeah.
poetry. Yeah, it action ones.
That's fun.
Crazy. I
Uh-huh.
was just looking over there. I'm like, I got everything from Gone with the Wind to Hannibal. Like,
That's amazing.
yeah, there's Hannibal, Oliver Twist, Gone with the Wind, then it goes to like Nicholas Sparks and then John Grisham and
Mm-hmm. Wow,
loads of
that's
fun.
a good collection. And then Jason, how do you even watch all that TV, bro? There's so many projects streaming now that people are like, "Hey, did you see this show?" And I'm like, "Never heard of it." And it's like 8 seasons in. I've never heard of it. I can't. You can't keep up.
It's very hard to keep up. That's why when people ask me, like, have you seen this older show? I'm like, there's no time to go backwards. Like, I'm trying to stay current for my podcast, and it's really hard to go back. Like, I've started rewatching stuff I've seen before while I edit because I can't watch new stuff. So like I get to do that, but to go back and start something that you haven't seen before is it's daunting. Like you said, there's 475 shows a week that drop, and it's how do you have time? There's no time in the day.
No, not at all. And then people interview me and they're like, "Where can you watch your show?" And I'm like, "Man, good luck. Like, there's so much out there. I hope you find it, but
you're like, I have no idea.
Stuff.
Let me know when you find out.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? What do you geek out over?
That's a good question. What would I be a geek over? I mean, I love watching movies. Always have, always will. I still enjoy going to the movie theater. I still use it as kind of an unwind tool as well, even though that's what I do for a living. I kind of have two parts of my brain that separate, and I have one that just loves to watch and be an audience member, while at the same time I'm like taking it all in and learning and judging and and somehow I've managed to separate the two so that I don't fully get ruined, unless it's something really obvious, where you're like, "Whoa, what the." You just wrecked that story by pulling me out. There's a PA standing right there. How'd you not see that? The Starbucks cup is clearly in the shot. Like, stuff like that. But overall, love watching movies. I just love stories. I think there's a fun aspect of being able to, like, I want you as the creator to take me on a journey, and I don't want to have to, direct it. But I also love when you have an opportunity to tell the story, and I often approach my characters and roles as an audience member. I go, "Okay, what does the audience feel about this scene? What do I hope they get out of this character? What do I hope that this arc takes them on? What kind of journey?" That helps me, I think, approach the reality of a character, because I don't know. I don't want to be off in my own la la land creating a character that doesn't honor the people I'm supposed to represent and treat the audience with respect. That's a big one for me. I'm constantly on projects where everybody's like, no, you need to say it again. The audience has forgotten. And I'm like, the audience is not stupid. Like, people watch all day, every day now. There's literally people on the subway. They're watching their phones. They're driving. They're listening now. They're in the shower. Like, what? Like, it's crazy. People are watching stuff all the time. And so I think North American culture, anyway, is really dialed in on stuff. They know when the stunt doubles come in, even if they don't know how to explain it. They know when the writing sucks, even if they can't, necessarily dissect it. I think everybody knows. And so my biggest thing is like, man, let's just honor and respect our audience and do our best to treat them like, like people that have a good head on their shoulders, and they're accomplishing things in their life, and now they're watching a show and they're giving their time, which for me, time, I don't care what changes in the universe. I believe that time it's the greatest currency. And if you give it, you'll never get it back. And so I appreciate every person who comes up to me or says they appreciate or enjoy anything about a project or a show or a movie that I've been on or done, because they just spent time on it. I mean, spending money, that could be easy, but spending time, that's a real task right there.
I love that.
Well, I've got one last question. So what's it been like? Because you've done some stuff with Great American Family, Hallmark, Lifetime. Like, how has that fandom been? Because we work for conventions as well, and I recently just found out how like big the Hallmark that community is. So what
Yeah.
is it like? What's been your experience with that community?
Oh, it's a wild, massive community. There's so many people that love rom-coms and they love Christmas movies, and I never saw that one coming. I never expected that part of my career would be like, I got my buddies make fun of me. They call me Mr. Christmas, and I'm like, okay. But I'm not
Christmas trees
ashamed
are
of it.
loyal.
It's quite wonderful and amazing. I mean, there's so many people that, and there's a genre for that. There's a space for it, right? A space for stories that aren't the Freddy versus Jasons, right? They're not filled with gore and they're
Yeah.
not filled with language. And I'm not saying one exists to diss the other. It's like pie in the grocery store. We need different flavors and we need different styles. And I think it's amazing and it's beautiful that we can have a project that someone can kind of watch and they kind of know what's going to happen. And they, people like that too. I think viewers sometimes just like when they're like, oh, I know what's happening. And then
Sometimes
yes,
it's comforting to know.
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, I know where this story is going to go, but it's beautiful and I want to watch it. I want to watch it unfold anyways.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I would say my statistics, if I had to put a stat on it, is 1 in 20 fans that I meet is probably off, where you're like concerned, and all the rest are amazing people. So it's very rare that you have that person where you're like, okay, I think they're following me around the mall. Like I think like wherever I go, they just show up, right? And you're going to your car with your family and and that's creepy. But most people generally are amazing. They love what you do. They're kind of afraid, but they want to say hi and they appreciate it. And so if I can, I want to keep sort of an open, like welcoming spirit, you know what I mean? So people can come up and say hi and say hello. All day. It's a great side effect of something going well. I think that someone is interested and wants to say hi and wants to tell you that they saw a project or they love a character. So let's go. Because we're all people. We're all just trying to feed our families and pay our bills and doing our laundry,
And it's never ending, the laundry.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm in an Airbnb right now and they have to come and fix the laundry.
The worst part about an Airbnb, and then you gotta wait for them. And I fully agree with what you said, and I think that speaks volumes to how you said you take your roles as if you were the viewer. Like you think about what they would want and what they'll enjoy, and the fact that they do proves you're doing a great job at that. And I think that's why your characters are so loved and do so well. I guess my final question for you is, having done everything from horror to romance and faith-based films, how important is it for you to kind of keep that range?
I've always fought for range since day one, and it takes time.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on it. I still have goals that I'd love to achieve, people I'd love to work with, genres I'd like to explore more. And yet I love moving around. Like I said, 9 to 5, I couldn't do it. So if all I did was one genre of film, my true self would come out and I'd be like, no, can't do it. Nope.
Get bored.
And so I love that I've been, and it's an honor, because it doesn't happen everywhere to be on Homestead right now, playing a Green Beret. I'm just filming an episode right now that honestly I'm just having the best time. It's so filled with action and heart and drama and humor that I'm like, this is phenomenal. Like this one episode alone could be kind of a demo reel almost of what I would love to do and what I am doing. And then I also love to go over here and make a Christmas film. And then I'm over on another series called Crossroads Springs where I play the antagonist. And then When Hope Calls is about to air, and I also play the antagonist in that, And so kind of playing the bad guy, it's phenomenal. I love it. And then it's so fun.
You get to be the character you wouldn't usually be, like someone you're not in real life, and those are fun.
Yeah. You'd asked earlier if pieces of you do come out. you often wonder, like we just did, some sequences where it's like, there's bad guys and the bad guys are hurting innocent people, and we're moving in and we're getting it done and we're taking care of it, and you're asking yourself, in real life, if this went down, could I do what Green Berets do? Can I? And I say that with all humility, because people do this for a living, and I'm simply trying to represent them the best that I can. And yet there's a piece of you and a part of you that goes, man, could I do that scene I just did and be that angry and take bad people out? Is that really in me, or is that just a facade? Could I really be that funny and caring over here? Can I really be that? It's just, there's so many aspects of the human heart that come out, and you're like, oh, okay. Does that live in all of us? And I think it does, to a degree. I like to say that we're only one choice away from being the bad guy, and that goes for all of us. So really, our choices as human beings every day matter.
Yeah. You said you had other genres you would like to explore. What's another like character or another genre that you would love to try to explore next?
Man, I love period pieces like Saving Private Ryan, or I'd love to go back, even like the Knights of the Round Table, Robin Hood, like just getting into stuff like that. I'd love to do more of that. World War II, as I mentioned, that's always been it's kind of just on my heart. I just love that time period, and there's so many great films about that. But like Westerns, I'm working on a lot of my own projects. So we have a couple that we're really passionate about. One of them is kind of like a Lethal Weapon meets Bad Boys meets Two Guns, but it's family friendly. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about. We just finished the first writer's draft of a feature film for that we'd like to then roll into a TV series. And I'm excited about that, because it's got humor, action. I'd love to bring in some old school music. It's got cool cars, and
That's always fun.
And then some heart, but I don't know. I think that for me, the films of the 90s were just the best. If you look up like top 100 movies in the 90s, it will blow your mind, and so I kind of want to bring some of that storytelling back. It's kind of in me, to just have and there's movies like that out there, Good versus Evil and stuff like that. But
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll be keeping our eye out for that.
Thank you.
So if you could, do you have a closing message to give to fans? Like a thank you, or like just some words of encouragement for them?
I'm always thankful for fans. It's kind of a funny word, right?
Yeah.
Think of that for your life, right? Who are your fans, right? I think a lot of us would like to hope that it's your family, your close friends, right? But then you have these folks that don't know you from Adam, but they've seen you on screen, and they feel that they know you, and they want to come up and just kind of ships passing in the night, And so it's a very impersonal yet personal relationship. And so I'm always thankful. So yes, I mean, you already said it for me. How do you say thank you? And I think the best way is just when I meet them in person. So, I can hopefully give them some moments of my time. I can look in their eyes, and I can be on level ground with them. And then I hope that we all give each other grace, because sometimes life is throwing a bunch of crazy stuff at us. And man, we need more grace for one another. And, one of my favorite proverbs, it says, be slow to speak and slow to become angry and quick to listen. And that's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
But it's a great practice. So if we could all do that, I think that'd be a start to something beautiful.
I agree. Well, Jesse, where can people find you online and keep up with what you're getting into with film and TV?
Great question. Instagram is the only one that I really have my personal hands on. and then some of that bleeds out into Facebook. And obviously people need to know this. There's so many fraud accounts. Like it blows my mind right now what's happening. Every day I'm having fans send me, is this really you? Is this, they want money. They're telling me that I'm your greatest fan, and that, and some of them do it with kindness. They're very kind. They're not saying anything rude, but it's just obviously not me. Like it's an account that has 0 followers. Look at the photos. They jacked and stole all the photos online. So just be aware, don't fall for people that are just trying to take advantage of connection. I think so many people want connection, and I appreciate that. But man, you just make sure you're not getting ripped off. People are some people's kids, they're just rude.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
But
Jesse, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you both for having me. It was a pleasure to geek out with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been incredible. Guys, go follow Jesse on Instagram. Keep up with Homestead and the other incredible shows and films coming out. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.